All right, so today we are working on 3.1 commissions, markups, discounts, and percents, and percent day 2. All right, so here we go. Surfboards, commissions, and markups. This one's a little bit tricky. Takes a little bit of maneuvering around of items, so just keep that in mind. So markups, discounts, we have to understand what each of these items means. So commission, I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm going to write in here, it might be a little bit small for you guys, but since I zoom in, you'll be able to see it. So this one is a commission. If you're not sure what that is, this is a portion of the sale. This is a portion of the sale that is paid to the employee. Okay, that is paid to the employee. Now, some of the more common commissions are things that large item sales, such as car sales or home sales. They get a commission. For example, if you were to buy, I'll do an example over here. Let's say you're going to buy a house, and because these are large ticket items, there's a lot of money in this, so the salesperson gets a little bit. So let's say you buy a house for $500,000, which is a cheap house in this neighborhood. Okay, so you buy a house for $500,000. Commission is usually for the salesperson is 6%. So that means if I do 500,000 times 6% times 0.06, that means their commission, the commission of that sale is going to be $30,000. So that means if someone sells my home, or if you buy a home or whatever, the people who are selling the home the company selling the home gets $30,000, 6%. It's a lot of money for a sale of one house. If you buy $1 million home, you're doubling that. You're getting $60,000 to sell one home. Now, yeah, that's a lot of money, but also you're not selling homes every day. Sometimes it takes a couple days to do so. Car sales are very, very similar. If you have a car sale, if you're selling a new car, such as this beautiful Cybertruck, okay, then let's say this is $50,000. We'll use the same similar numbers. They get a percentage. I'm not sure what the percentage is. It's a little bit lower because they sell more often. We could look it up a little bit later. Commission of car salesmen. They usually make, they get 25% of the profit. So 25% of profit. So if this car is $50,000, and to sell, if this is $50,000 and the car cost the car dealership $40,000 to buy, that means the dealership is making $10,000. Okay, the dealership is making $10,000, and of that $10,000, 25% goes to the salesman, $2,500. Okay, I'm not sure that the profit is that high per car sale, but that's just an example of it. Okay, all right, a markup. This is we have to know what these all are. A markup is an increase. This is an increase in price for profit. Okay, for example, let's say I own a 7-Eleven. Okay, here's my 7-Eleven store. Okay, 7-Eleven. And I buy sodas. I buy a soda or a Monster Energy or whatever, and that costs me 50 cents to buy. I buy them for 50 cents. Okay, now if I buy them for 50 cents, I have to sell them for more. I have to sell them for sale 75 cents. Okay, 75 cents for sale. I now make the amount of difference from one to the next that is profit. Okay, the increase. I made a quarter every time I sell a soda or a Monster Energy for 75 cents. If I sell it for 50 cents, I'm not making any money. Okay, it's the way that companies make money if they're not making the item themselves. Okay, discounts. This is usually everyone's favorite. This is a decrease in price. Decrease in price. Okay, everyone usually knows what this one is. Okay, if an item is usually going to be selling for $100, whatever it might be, and it's on sale for 20% off, so times 20%, that means there is a $20 discount. Okay, so that's different ways we're going to be talking about our surfboards. All right, so 3.1, we are on page 32. Or at least mine is on page 32. I know our numbers have been a little bit off. But 3.1, commissions, markups, and discounts. Sandy sells surfboards at Surfer Joe's Surf Shop. In this problem, you will explore the business of selling surfboards from different points of view. Now, again, this can be similar to car salesman or home sales or something like that. Sandy sold the surfboard, sold the surfboards below for the price listed. Okay, the Sunset Fish, the longboard, and the funboard. For every surfboard sold, Sandy earns a 20% commission in addition to her regular pay. For each Sunset board, what is Sandy's commission? So we need to figure out how much money Sandy is making. Okay, so I'm just going to do the first one. I'll give you some time, and then you're going to answer the other. You're going to figure out the longboard and the funboard. I'm going to do the Sunset Fish. This is our example. Okay, so our example is the Sunset Fish. Okay, it sells for $400. To find the amount of commission, it says 20% here. Okay, so Sandy earns 20%. So I'm going to multiply this by 20%. Now 20% is the same as 0.20. So remember, when you're using decimals and you're using it in calculations, you need to actually multiply by its decimal equivalent. This is 0.20. When you multiply those together, you end up with, I'll show you in the calculator, even though some of these items you should be able to do in your head. Okay, so 400, I don't want currency, 400 times 0.20, or just 0.2, they should be the same, is $80. So Sandy is making $80 every time she sells a surfboard. Okay. All right. You should be doing the same thing for the Sunset Longboard and the Sunset Funboard. Okay. Show your work for each of those. It should look something like this. Your work should look like this. Okay. This is going to be your commission. So if she sells a Sunset Fish surfboard, she makes $80. Now the store is still going to make money, but we're not sure. We haven't gotten to that part yet. All right. You've paused the video. You've given it a try. Here's a Sunset Longboard. Okay. I'm going to put longboard here, and the longboard is going to be $550 times 20%, 0.20. Okay, 220. So 10% is $55, $110, I believe. Let's double check. 550 times 0.2. She makes $110 commission for every longboard sold, and for every funboard. Okay, $475 times 0.20. 475 times 0.2, and they make she makes $95 every time she, as a salesperson, sells a surfboard. Okay. All right. So when Joe's surfboard number 2, when Joe buys a surfboard to sell it in his shop, he adds a 60% markup to his cost to calculate the shop's selling price. All right. So Joe is the owner. Okay. Joe is the owner, and he buys this board for $275. This is our buy price. Now he needs to increase the price to get his selling price. Okay, so he needs to increase his price. It says he needs to increase his board to make it so he can actually make some money. If he buys it for $275 and sells it for $275, he's not going to be making any money. Okay, all right. For part A, it says, how much did Joe add as a markup to the Azul longboard? Okay, so we're actually going to start on this question over here for the longboard. Okay, so we need to figure out how much he increased. Okay, he paid $400 for this board, and he needs to make some money on it. He can't sell it for $400. He's going to lose out on any sort of profit if he does so. So $400, and he's going to increase it by 60%. That's how much he's increasing the price. So he's going to increase the price by $240. Okay, so this is the amount of money he's going to increase the price. Okay, now what is the sales price Joe offered his customers? Now this is what he buys for. Buy price. He needs to add his markup, and that's going to be his selling price. Okay, well, he bought for $400. He bought for $400. He's going to increase the price $240, and he's going to sell for $640. Okay, that's going to be his total selling price. Okay, find Joe's markup and sales price for the Azul fish. Go ahead and give that a try. I'm going to leave that one blank, and I'm going to move on. You should be able to figure that out just by doing exactly what we did in part A and part B. They're just putting it together to get the Azul fish price, this one. Okay. All right. This is a bit tricky, so take your time. Joe's 60% markup on the Azul fun board is $150. Okay. What was his buying price? So this is his buy price. Okay. This is his buy price. He bought something, and then he multiplied it by 60%, and he got $150. That is what this statement is telling us. His markup on the blue fun board is $150. Okay, so that means we need to figure out what this number is here. We got to figure out this part here, his buy price. We got to figure this part out because we already have the markup. Okay, so we're going to use, and if you don't remember, this is going to be fact families again. We are using fact families a lot, or pretty much until forever in this class and next class and the year after. So you have to be able to do this in reverse. Okay, so here's my markup, $150, and I'm going to divide it by the 60%. Now, I know dividing usually makes things smaller, but this is not a whole number. So when you divide by a number that is less than 1, it gets bigger. Okay, so I got $150 times divided by 0.6. Divided by 0.6, we get $250. Okay, so he bought this board for $250. Okay, so this is his buy price. That's buy price. Buy price. And this is his markup over here. Oops, wrong color. Markups I usually do in red because it's not a good thing because it's an increase in price. This is a markup. That's how much he increased his price. Okay, explain how you can check to see if your answer is correct. Well, we already did this before. We already know how to find the markup. So we're going to just do what we did in question number 2. I have $250 times 0.6. It should equal $150. If it doesn't, then I made a mistake. Okay, so let's check that again. 250 times 0.6, 150, it checks out. If that checks out, then it's true. Okay, his selling price, buy price, plus buy price markup plus markup equals selling price. Okay, so this is $250 plus $150 equals $400. He's selling this board for $400. Okay. All right. Now, these next questions kind of get you thinking in different ways, and they set up ratios. Joe's signature longboard is $700. This, what it looks like, represents our price. Okay, this is our price here. This is our price row. Okay, and down here, this is our percent row. Okay, so it says that he writes the proportion to find the selling price, S. All right, so is his method correct? Yes, his proportion is set up correctly. This represents price on the top, percent on the bottom. Now, the one over here, this represents buy price, okay? And the one on the other side, this represents selling price, okay? Now, the reason why this works, okay, the reason why this works is because there is no diagonalness here. For example, if I had price and they were diagonal like this, it wouldn't work. If I had percents and they were diagonal, they wouldn't work. They have to match up horizontally, okay, like they do now, and they have to match up vertically as well, okay? So let's figure this out. I'm going to rewrite it and just rearrange it. 700 over 100 is equal to selling price over 160. Now, how do I make 100 into 160? Will be the same way I make 700 into the selling price. This is a lot like taxes. It's 100% of the price plus 60% of the price. So this is going to be multiplied by 1.6 or 1.60. So I'm going to do the same thing here. 700 times 1.60. Okay, so into my calculator that will go 700 times 1.6 times 1.6 or 1.60. The 1 is the 100%. That's the cost of that he buys it for. 60% is the markup. So together, markup and buy price, he's going to sell this board for $1,120. Okay, that's his selling price. Okay, it says use the same four numbers in a proportion above and write a proportion in a different way. Now, I'm going to leave this one blank for you guys so you guys can figure this out. Okay, here you have to use these four numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and rewrite it. Make sure the prices are together, make sure the percents together, the buy price and the sell price are together. You're going to rearrange it. You had a question similar to this on your quiz. Okay. All right. I'm going to skip B, let you guys figure that one out. And I'm going to jump to Rodrigo's question. Again, give these a try, stop, pause, and do them on your own first before we work on together. So Rodrigo wants to buy the signature longboard. He has $1,200. Okay. There's an 8% sales tax that must be added to the sales price. Can he afford the board? Okay. All right. So here is the cost of the board. We know that is $1,120, and we know that there's a 1% sales tax. We've done this before. 8%, 1.08% sales tax. We multiply those together. I should have put my calculator away, but that's okay. 1120 times 1.08, and we end up with $1,209.60. So, does he have enough money? No, he doesn't. He's actually short by $9.60. Okay. So, does he have enough money? Rodrigo is short $9.60. Okay. Now, if I was a salesman, I'd probably still sell it to him for the $1,200 that he had. I'm only losing $10, but I'm gaining, $400 something, $410 or $510. Okay. I'm gonna stop there. You should be able to finish off B on your own. Okay. You should be able to work on this one by yourself. Okay. And if you need help, it will go over it in class, or it'll show up online on the live link. All right. Here, all the way to the top, your homework is, let me see. Your homework is page 66 and 64. So this is your homework. 66 and 64. And that's due next class. Alrighty. That should be it for this one.